The ABCs of Willie's favorite Atari 2600 games is brought to you in part by Arcade USA, the Atari 2600 game-by-game podcast, Sega Enterprises Limited, Gremlin Industries Incorporated, the letter Z, the number 2454, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome everyone to the ABCs of Willie's favorite Atari 2600 games. Today we're talking about the letter Z. Z in... Ta-da! I'll get out of here. Zaxxon. Oh yeah! I loved Zaxxon in the arcade. One of the things I liked about Zaxxon was the 3D isometric view that you had as you were playing the game. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to navigate across the Zaxxon base and get over those little obstacles and electric fences and stuff. Made the game really challenging. Of course, I used my shots to determine where I needed to go. To see if they went by an object or whatever like that, so I knew I was clear. But what a great arcade game. And it was ported to the 2600. Not a really good port to the 2600. The only reason why I got this in the list because there's not another Z game I could think of that I had back then that I even liked. So this is kind of like default to finish off the series. But we're going to play it anyway. So let's take a look at what came in the box, then I'll play the game. Alright, here's the box for Zaxxon. Typical Coleco box, red, but I do like how they've always put the arcade machine on the box cover. That is a great little detail that Coleco does with their games. I really like that. Nice little picture of the Zaxxon ship crashing into a wall. That's typically what I do when I play the game. You see it originally sold for $34.99. I don't know what store this is. I don't know if it's Kmart or something. It's kind of cool. It has the original sticker on. This is not my original one. This is one I picked up for this series. Then on the back, we don't have a screenshot of the game, so, you know, I think if you put a screenshot back here, you would have seen, wait a minute, that don't look like Zaxxon. So I don't know if they did it on purpose or what. We got the same picture of the ship crashing into the wall. And it talks about how to play. This fantastic three-dimensional space battle game puts you in control of a futuristic spaceship. Your ship zooms over an alien asteroid and dives down to attack the enemy installations. Your ship must avoid hazards, walls, enemy fire, and other unforeseen dangers. Can you survive and score? I cannot survive, and I don't score. So in the box, we have, of course, the old Zaxxon cartridge. White shell, typical for Coleco. Nice end label. It's got the arcade font on here. These look really nice on the shelf when they're all stacked up. I've got most of these games loose as well, and I like to keep them stacked up on my shelf because it looks pretty cool having those little arcade logos looking back at you off the shelf. Pretty neat. I'm rambling, sorry. Also in the box we have the instruction manual. That will not come out of the box. There we go. And it's the typical red, gray, black, and white manual. I don't know why they chose red. It's very weird. For 1 or 2 players, color black and white TV, select from 4 skill levels. Well, I'm doing skill level 1. Got the game description, how to hook it up, hook everything up on your console, how the controls work, dive left, dive right, bank. And right here's the first hint of what you're getting into. It's kind of like a vertical river raid, 3D river raid almost, is what it reminds me of. You could probably hack this game into a 3D river raid, as a matter of fact. I didn't think about that. And we got the Mobot. Gun turret, radar tower, fuel tank, altitude indicator, and also barrier. It's kind of cool. The only other game I have that does a view like this is Zaxxon 3D on my Sega Master System, which is absolutely incredible. If you have the 3D glasses for the Sega Master System, you got to pick up Zaxxon 3D. It is so much fun. Anyway, back to the Atari again. The attack in space. Then you have the Zaxxon robot. I have never seen the Zaxxon robot in all the times I've played this game. Maybe I'll see him when I play it this time. You never know. And we have all the enemy targets and all the good the scoring. And of course, the fun of discovery of things you can discover inside of the game, which is not all that much. Got a warranty there, the Coleco logo, and of course there's the back of the manual. All right, enough talk. Plug this thing in and give it a spin. All right, let's play some Zaxxon. Attempt to play some Zaxxon. Ooh, I go through the barrier. For what it is, Coleco, I think, did a fairly decent job in trying to get this to port over to the 2600. It's just kind of strange. It does remind me a lot of River Raid. Oh, the Mobot got me. Rats. Of course, your Zaxxon ship kind of looks like a seesaw a little bit. I have a hard time judging what height I need to be at to shoot those guys. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, now I'm in space. Now the space level's kind of cool. I kind of like this level. Whoa! Oh. And the ships look pretty cool. Oh, here we go again. Base number 2. Freaking Mobot. Get out of the way, Mobot. Ooh, got some fuel. Nope. Die! Get the Mobot! Yes! Oh, that was close. Oh, other side! Yikes! Whoa! That was close. The sound effects of the jet, though, kind of gets on my nerves after a while. Wow, I'm actually doing halfway decent. Usually I can't get this far. Oh yeah, the Zaxxon guy! I've not fought him before. Yeah, die! Die, you Zaxxon robot! Whoa! Oh! Shoot. Man. Die. There we go. Got him in the eye. Did I get him? I think I got him. Awesome. That's the first time I've done that. Cool. Oh boy. Now it's getting faster. Oh. Oh, other side. Whoa, watch out for the wall. Ah. Oh, man, a radar dish. I'm going to shoot the radar dish. Go away. Leave me alone. Oh. Dang it. Rats. Well, as you can see, that's not a real good version of Zaxxon, flying down into the screen and stuff. Almost like a 3D River Raid almost. But they tried the best they could with what they had to work with. I picked my copy up on sale. I think it was at KB for $1.99 or something like that when I finally added it in my collection. I tried it out when it first came out from a rental store, and I decided I'm not going to buy it brand new to add to my collection. I'm going to wait till I find it on sale before I buy it. And that's exactly what I did. Just so I could have the arcade version in my Atari 2600 collection. But this is the end of the series. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and giving a lot of good feedback and a lot of great stories about your favorite games on the system. To close out this series, I'm going to talk about my top 5 games of all time on the 2600. Will you be able to guess what my number 1 game is going to be? So let's get started. Number 5. Berserk. Oh, I loved Berserk in the arcade. And when they brought it to the Atari 2600, it was phenomenal. Granted, it doesn't have speech, but the gameplay is there. It is a really fun game on the 2600. Definitely one of my top 5 favorites on the system. Number 4. Kaboom! Oh yeah, I love Kaboom. Love the concept of the game. You got the Mad Bomber dropping the bombs on top on top of the wall or the roof or ceiling, wherever he's at. Really challenging game. Plus, it's a paddle game, which I like paddle games on the 2600. And Kaboom just brings me back time after time. I love that game. I've got different versions of it. I got it on different systems, like my Atari 8-bit. I got the game all over the place, but I love playing it on the 2600. That's my first love. Number 3, Warlords. Oh, man, yeah. Warlords is such a great party game. It's so much fun to get a bunch of your friends together and play this game, either at the arcade or on the 2600. Atari did a really good job of porting this game to the 2600. Supports 4 players, and it's a great party game. Whenever a group of us gets together, I typically bust out the 2600 and we play this game. So much fun. Number 2, Space Shuttle. Now, I love Space Shuttle on the 2600. I'm a big fan of simulation games, and Activision did a heck of a job bringing the Space Shuttle feeling, experience to the 2600. Although it's limited, it does give you a little bit of a taste of what you got to do to get up into space. It's a highly educational game, especially the manual. It's really great to read the manual that comes with this game. It's really cool. I do have it on my Atari 8-bit, which I prefer it on there, but I have a real appreciation for what Activision did on the 2600. Really fun game. And now for the number 1 game of all time of my favorites on the 2600. I never covered this in the series, but it is Space Invaders. Oh. Now, you're asking, well, if it's your favorite game on the system, most favorite, why didn't you put it in the ABCs? Well, if you remember in the Space Shuttle episode, I talked about Space Invaders and Space Shuttle being pretty much side by side as my most favorite game. Those are my top 2 games I go to on the 2600. I decided to split off Space Invaders to give it its own episode for my Atari 2600 series, because I got a lot to say about Space Invaders. I wanted to have its own dedicated episode and not be part of my ABC series. So that's the reason why I didn't cover it during the run of the show. But why do I like the 2600 version of Space Invaders? Well, there's many reasons. One, you can have 2 people play at the same time. That is so much fun. Me and my wife love playing Space Invaders at the same time. 2-player at the same time option. It's a lot of fun. And of course, when I discovered that you could fry the game by holding down the reset button and get double shots at the very beginning, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That's what introduced me to trying to find alternate things in the cartridges, like by frying the machine to see if you can get the game to behave differently. But that is a classic little fry on the 2600. Holding down the reset when you turn on the 2600 for Space Invaders and get the double shot. I love that. It's so cool. Great game. Can't say enough about Space Invaders. So anyway, that's my top 5. What are your top 5 games on the 2600? Comment down below. Be interested to hear what you have to say about that. And come join me in my next series I'm doing, the ABCs of Willie's favorite Sega Dreamcast games. I've already released a couple episodes, so it's already in production right now. So anyway, thanks for watching.